that I can actually just be right now in this time frame with really phenomenal women talking about positive things about them and their business. And I know that's not always life, but it's something that really is boistering my spirits today. So thank you for taking the time to be here. As you can tell by my background, and I'm a little bit darker, I'm not in my cool pool house. I've been down there, but it's getting a little too cool to be in the pool house unless you want to see me in winter garb talking to you. So I'm up here in my beautiful home office, which has green walls, which makes me think of summer. I've got my son's 5-year-old blue fish over here. He should be pink, but he's blue. He keeps me company in a very warm house because we always have a nice fire going. I wish you could all be here with me, sitting on the couch that's right over there, sitting at my table so that we could have this conversation. But with COVID, everything's still around. This is the safest way to gather for the time being. So I hope you feel comfortable and pretend that you're here live in our house all together so that you can share everything that you want to share today. I am not wearing my wig. So some of you have only seen me with hair. Some of you have seen me with my baseball caps on, especially if you follow me on social media. The exciting thing about being bald, totally bald for the last 2 years, is that my hair is starting to grow back. So fingers crossed that it comes in. I would show you it, but I look like a really spooky, older, crazy professor man because it's like white in the spot or black in the spot. It's not all even. It's going to be a really interesting self-confidence test until it all comes in. So the wigs are so tight that I don't want to pull out any hair I have. So please forgive me. This is probably the Tracy for 2021. You know, being totally bald is sort of badass, but then once you get this really funky hair that's growing in, you know, I still got to cover it for a cap for all of you. So thank you for bearing with me and my new look for this new year. I also want to just say again, thank you for being here. Thank you for the sisterhood that Women Ties provides. There's so many of you that are on a lot of our monthly calls, and a lot of you that I've known for a really long time. And if you followed me on social media yesterday, you may have seen this one post and something that I put because I had just come back from a 10-mile bike ride, feeling good, feeling inspired, and came back to see what was going on. And instantly couldn't stand the negativity that was happening. And so when I noticed that a lot of the shots that were being taken were mostly of men doing a lot of the destruction on the Capitol, I wrote this in my social media post. When I took 120 women to the Women's March on Washington in 2017, the day after Trump was inaugurated, I lost members. I lost 2 best friends who thought that I was going and taking women with me to protest Trump and to make trouble. There was actually a newspaper article here locally that said that I was doing the same thing. And I had some women decide not to go on the trip because their husbands thought that they were going down to protest Trump. I said, holy crap, that was actually the farthest thing from our mind. We were going down to represent that women make up 52% of the population, and that we hope that the new parties coming in and the new representatives would remember that that was the case with women. After yesterday, I know without a fact, I know it with all my heart, that women need to be in more roles in every single aspect of leadership, politics, business, and in life, and to show the right way to behave and to act for our world and our community and for the generations to come. And no one will ever convince me otherwise. I have been pro-female most of my life because of a feminist mother. But yesterday reminded me of the power that women have if we continue to rise and to be positive, the changes that we can truly make in the world. And for Women Ties, the platform is for us to be able to put our money in the hands of other women entrepreneurs first and foremost in order to help create a stronger financial future today and for tomorrow, and especially for the women that are coming up behind us. But I think that we need to continue to rise into other leadership roles within our communities in order to help that happen. So I live with 3 men. I love my guys. I love Blue, my male fish. I'm not sure why God put women so heavily on my heart, but it's my life mission to help all of you, and even more so in this year. And so when you're done talking, you're going to hear me explain what I'm interested in doing a little bit more for you in 2021. So with that said, I'm just going to let you know that we're right about where I thought I would be for my welcome. I'm going to turn it over to you. I guess I'll just call out your names randomly. Again, you have 2 to 3 minutes each to speak. Make sure you say where you're from, your business name, your name, and again, anything that you're interested in promoting in the new year. You should have received the sales contact list of everybody that was signed up. That came around 9, 10 o'clock. You should have it. I hope you print it out, you mark it, you say, hey, this is somebody I could do business with. I should connect with better on a Zoom call or over coffee with a face mask, whatever it is, because this is great to be here together. But in order to create those stronger economic business ties, sometimes we have to go a little bit beyond the screen and make the phone calls and make the one-on-one meetings. So, or buy from somebody. So I'm going to have you speak probably around 12:50. I think that should give us enough time. I'll go over the new PR benefit review, and then I'll make sure we're done by 1, if we can all keep to our time frame. So with that being said, again, if there's anything that's not on the sales contact list that you want to share, like email addresses, you can put it over in the chat box, and I will send the chat box information along with the recording of today's phone call to you by Friday. And then you will have that as well for follow-up. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Jackie Michael first, because she was the first woman on the call. So let's see if, Jackie, can you unmute yourself?
Hi.
Yep, you're there.
How's that?
It's perfect.
Okay, great. Good. So it's great to see all of you, and thanks, Tracy, for doing this. I have been a therapist for many, 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 many years, and at this point, I can call myself an author, and I've written a book called Hooray for Parenting, which some of you are familiar with and have even purchased, and I recently published a companion workbook to go with it that includes a discussion guide and how to bring a book group or any kind of group together. It could be used by teachers, therapists, parents. And anyway, I've gotten really exciting reviews about this. People seem to love the idea of looking at kind of thinking through for themselves some of the dynamics that contribute to their parenting. And anyway, both the book and this have gotten great reviews. So I've actually been thinking about, how do I talk about this book? And as a therapist, one person, actually my publisher, pointed out to me that my natural instinct is to really listen to people rather than sort of put it out there. So I keep kind of wordsmithing what I'm talking about. And really, several things have inspired me with what I want to say today. But there was an article in the last issue of CNY 55 Plus magazine, which actually I think I'm going to be in next week, or whenever it comes out again. But it's not, I wasn't interviewed about the book. In fact, the woman who interviewed me didn't even know about my book. So it was more about a profile of my life. So we'll see how that comes out. But the article that was in this last one was by somebody, I think his name is Frasinelli, about parenting. And the title of it was Children Are Now in Control. And to me, even though he was quoting a psychologist, it was all kind of a negative, like we have to take control, we have to dominate kids. And so this led me to think that really, I think in the 21st century, in this virtual world, we need a new mindset and new inspiration about parenting. And that it's actually more of uh, a, a partnership and empowering both parents and empowering children. Because I'm sure some of you probably all know, there are kids that certainly know a lot more than I do about technology and a lot of things, and certainly know more about the world than I did when I was a young person. So I really, the purpose of my books really is to inspire new thinking and a new mindset for parents, often mostly women, who pay attention to this stuff, to sort of explore with themselves, who are they being, what are they thinking, and how can they be empowering as opposed to dominating. So I think that's kind of an overview of um, where I've been on this journey. And I guess the one other thing that I I've worked with people from every walk of life, from children to the elderly, and but I focused on parenting in this book because I think parents and those of us who empower parents have the most far-reaching impact on the future of the world our kids going to inherit. So thank you all.
Thank you, Jackie. That's awesome. Good luck. Write down on the
Thanks.
side in the chat box if there's a special page where people can buy your book. Okay, whether it's on Amazon or on your website, just put that in the chat box so people have that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, let's go with Deb Coleman. You want to? I'm just going down my Brady Bunch box. Oh, sorry. I saw a little bit my big forehead.
Sure. Thanks so much, Tracy, and so good to see everybody here. I'm Deb Coleman. I'm right here in Syracuse, and I am a content conversion strategist and a copywriter. I'm also a speaker and an author and a trainer. I empower business owners, small business owners, primarily women, though not exclusively women, to use strategy in their content and their messaging so that they can attract and then enroll more of their ideal clients. So everything from website copy to blogs to social media, video marketing, live streaming, I do it all, and I help people see it as a comprehensive way to get their message out, so that the right people pay attention. And a lot of people do struggle with that in different times or different spaces, and a lot of people find themselves a good writer, but being a good writer is not enough to convert people to become buyers. So pretty much every business needs some aspect of that or is looking to advance it. And that is what I do. I hold a couple of leadership positions as well. I'm part of the global organization of Women Speakers Association, where I'm on the leadership team to support women speakers to get their message out. And Tracy's been connected with us as well. I'm part of the leadership team of a couple of high-level masterminds where I help people with their marketing as part of that. And I do it primarily, privately with my own clients, as well as I have a group program for those who are wanting a bit of a community to learn within, to be trained, have places they can bring their content and get feedback. So it's kind of a broad scope because it varies to what people really need at a particular point in time. And I work with therapists, I work with a lot of spiritual healers. Those people tend to be attracted to me. And I also work with straight up business coaches and people who sell products and that sort of thing as well. I love what I do. I love kind of supporting people also with the mindset piece. Oftentimes that's a big component of how we show up online and how we can feel more confident about what our message is. And I love collaborating. That's one of the things that I do best, and seeing the connections, not only within people's messaging, but also how their business might, complement another business. So I do a lot of kind of connecting people online. I've been virtual from the beginning, which for me is only about 5 years as a business owner. So COVID didn't pose any issues to me business-wise. I have been working with people around the globe in all of these states, and almost none are in Syracuse. Like it just happens that way. So I also am, part of what I do is help people see that for themselves and see how when they can show up virtually and online, there's no ceiling to how many people you can reach and how much money you can make.
Yeah.
So I've actually had some of my best months in the last few months.
Awesome.
Because a lot of people are pivoting to see what can I be doing online.
Awesome. Well,
so I'm all over social media. I love that, as you know, and I'll drop my links. Like, I'd love for people to connect with me any way you want. I have some products like to help you map out your content. I'm happy to share about the group program. And I also have, my website, and a free gift. So if anyone wants to look at some of the common mistakes that business owners make with their content, that's kind of a freebie that you can grab too, if you'd like.
That's great. Well, thank you, Deb, for being on this call. I was glad that we could get you on this one, and then you and I will talk tomorrow as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep, thank you. Okay, Jody Brown, you're next in the square. If I go just straight down like tic-tac-toe here.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Jody Brown. My business is Holy Education. I live in Seneca Falls, and I never get tired of telling the story of how I came up with my business name. It comes from the fact that several years ago I discovered that the three words heal, H-E-A-L, whole, W-H-O-L-E, and holy, H-O-L-Y, all come from the same root word. It's an Old English word, hal, H-A-L. And that just gave me this big aha moment of, wow, can you imagine a time in our history when those three words, those three concepts were so intertwined that we only needed one word, that to be healed was to be whole, was to be holy. All three intertwined. It's got to be 10 or 12 years ago that I discovered that, and I'm still in as much amazement now as I was then. So Holy Education, which is W-H-O-L-L-Y, is a play on those words. I'm a Reiki master. I'm a wedding officiant. I'm a Suzuki piano teacher. That's the day job. In fact, that's how I know Jackie. I taught her grandson. Oh my goodness, I could go on and on about him. We need to talk about him, Jackie. I need to know how he's doing. I only had him for 6 months, and then he was such a prodigy, I had to turn him over to another teacher who was more qualified. But that's neither here nor there, except I'm always excited to see Jackie on the call. Currently, I am transitioning to online, and what I did about 6 months ago is I started taking a course, an online course on how to create an online course. I'm working on a course called Maintaining Emotional Wellness During the Pandemic. And I'm trying to tweak the course. It was supposed to start this Sunday, but I haven't done the correct marketing for it because Tracy was the only one who signed up for it. Thank you, Tracy. I'm really interested in getting some feedback about, if you were to see a course like this, what would you expect to see in it? So if anybody is willing to help me with that kind of feedback, I have put my email address in the chat box, and please email me because I'm really need some help making this work. I have set another date to start the course on February 7th, but I will continue tweaking it until that time. And it's a $97 course, but I'm offering it to all Women Ties members at a 20% discount for only $77. I also have another course that if anybody emails me, it's called Responding to Challenging Times, and this is a freebie. So if you're interested in taking a free course and seeing a little bit about it, it kind of leads into my other course, please email me about that and I will send you the link for that. What else do I need to talk about? I also run Simple Abundance Retreats. where you can find more joy. I teach people how to find more joy in their lives by, it's based on Sarah Ben Brannock's book, Simple Abundance. And it talks about the 6 principles of gratitude, simplicity, order, harmony, beauty, and joy. So how you get from gratitude to joy. And I'm sure there's a few other things I do too. I'm one of those jack of all trades, master of none. But
Well, they have your email address, and just because your time's
my
up, I'll
website's
just say
on
that
there.
I'll have
You
them
can-
reach
my
out to you with other information, but I am looking forward to taking your course. And the thing I told Jody is that sometimes you think that January courses are great because everybody's into a new year, but sometimes January is a tough month to get people together because women are so kind of tired coming off the holidays. So I suggested to her that, February is a great month where there's not as much going on. So please learn more about her information and her program, and hope to see some of you there. So thank you,
very
Jody.
much, Tracy. Thank you.
Susan Jefferson, how about you, my friend?
Hi there, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm Susan Jefferson, a web designer and developer from Rochester, New York. My business is called Tech Creative Web Design and Consulting. I offer my clients website solutions as well as hosting for their websites, email accounts, and that sort of foundational things that you all need when you have a website. I have been working on online stores recently as people start to try to move their businesses more online. So that's one of the services that I do offer. I also work with clients on productivity solutions, simplifying your business processes, taking out all of the unnecessary steps, potentially connecting disparate solutions that you might be using. Maybe you're using one solution for an online store and one solution for your scheduling or something to that effect. We can pull those things together, integrate them, make your life easier in terms of time that you have to spend doing administrative tasks. So I work a lot with e-commerce solutions, whether it's products or digital downloads or online course delivery. So those are the areas where I enjoy working, solving client problems and helping to simplify things. So if you know anyone who is looking for some assistance with their website, I work with lots of other women business owners to offer like a full solution. So if you need photography, if you need content creation, I work with other women business owners to deliver those services. And I'd also like to just take a moment to also share that I am a jewelry designer, and I work mainly in silver and stone. I've become a lapidary artist. And if you want to see some of my work, you can go to my jewelry website, which is susanjeffersonjewelry.com. And I have also started really working on my social media. So I am on Instagram and Facebook. So if you want to take a look, I'll put that in the chat box in case anybody wants to take a look at some of my recent work, which is mainly in silver and inlay stone jewelry. And always working on some fun stuff in my studio, so you can also see some little videos there as well. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Susan. Beautiful, and she has beautiful rings. I was going to tell my husband and sons, because they never buy me jewelry. Only women buy me jewelry. Men never buy me jewelry. I was going to send them specifically to you, but instead they bought me a Fitbit and cross-country skis and boots. So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I will be buying a ring from you myself, not waiting for them. It's like getting roses. Yeah, just buy yourself roses.
Order.
Yeah. So I'll be looking for a pink one when time comes. So thanks, Susan. Okay, Sadie Ann, you want to unmute yourself? Can you do that?
Okay, I think I'm unmuted, right?
You are.
Okay, awesome. I'm from Utica, New Hartford area. All of my life I've lived here. Um, and my business is a strong and healthy you. And primarily I am focused on nutritional supplementation for good health. I'm also focused a little bit more on skincare and makeup. And lately I've been talking to people because most of my peers are in my own age group. So I'm focused on anti-aging. And of course that goes well as well for younger people because anti-aging starts when you're young. If you don't take care of your skin and your face when you're young and you're out in the sun, and you're going to get wrinkles if you don't do something to prevent that. So that's the bottom line on that. And my business is pretty simple. The only thing is, I have to speak mostly to people who are already on board with the idea of healthy lifestyle for themselves that incorporates supplementation as well, and good quality supplements. I took vitamins from the time I was in my 20s, but I always found that I would end up with a bottle of One A Day brand multivitamin sitting on the shelf full. And it's like, I'd look at it and say, what? I forgot to take it. And that would go on for days. And it was because it didn't really make a difference because they're very poor quality. And when I came across drinking your vitamins in isotonic form, and I started using those, I'll tell you, for 16 years, I've been taking those supplements and never miss a day. Even if I forget about it, later in the day, I'll take it. And I think it has made a difference. I mean, I'm 76 years old, and I'm doing a lot better than just around kicking, you know, as some people will say who are in my age group. So I use myself as an example, and I have many friends who have seen that example and been inspired by it, and so have started the same regimen over a period of time. And my business comes mostly from my own sense of wanting to help people and wanting to do something for people that will make them happy, make them healthy, and so on, and encourage them to do other things around that, and participate in activities that they love and are passionate about. Like Tracy, I mean, you mentioned the march, the Women's March. I mean, that really was life-changing. And I went apart from your bus trip because my sister lives there, and I took 2 friends. And that was an amazing event. And also through Jackie Michael's programs over the years, wow, I've been so inspired and learned so much from her about empowering myself. And sometimes just being who you are helps to empower other women. And that's really rewarding. Yeah. And in the meantime, my life has gotten very crazy because my husband and I, at this age, decided to buy a condo in Florida.
Good for you.
So, yeah, I'll tell you, it's rejuvenating. It's exciting. We are having so much fun talking about and preparing for getting down there and fixing the place up and enjoying the new spot. So you see, age doesn't matter. I mean, you know, anything can happen at any day, at any time, at any age.
Yeah, you're a perfect example of that. Thank you so much for sharing, Sadie Ann. Appreciate it. Okay. All right, Christy, I'm going to save you to the end because I want you to talk a little bit about what you're presenting on the 12th. So I'm going to go over to Melissa and have her speak, and then we'll go up and then come back down to you. Melissa?
Hi, thanks. I am just touched also by the women on here and all the amazing things that people are doing. Yeah, I actually really needed this today. I felt like yesterday was a really rough day, and in general, speaking to Jackie, like parenting 2 young kids. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old at home. And they haven't been in school for the last month, and, you know, full-time job and full-time parenting, and just, it's been overwhelming. So I just bought both of those books just now. And
Oh,
my husband actually said the other day, like, somebody must have written a book about this. Like, why are we doing this alone? You know, so thanks for that. So my name is Melissa Vanderhoof. I'm in Ithaca, New York, and I just early in 2020 started in finance. So I work with Finger Lakes Wealth Management. We're a 66% woman-owned business. We're a family business, and my mom started the company long ago during the last fall of the stock market when the housing market crashed. So she has decades of experience behind her, which is really lovely. And so I joined, and I have my Series 65 license, and basically we're an investment advisory firm. We offer estate planning, retirement planning, budgeting, individualized services. We have a lot more flexibility because we are independent. So we can really work with individuals and kind of make our plans really catered to those individual needs. Something that we started back in 2013 is a specialization in SRI, or socially responsible investments. And that's something that feels dear to my heart. I feel like it's important that we know that where we're investing our money is also in line with our values. So that's something that we specialize in as well. The other thing for me personally that I'm interested in, and especially working with women, is our relationship to money, our relationship to abundance as energy, like how we kind of engage with the world, and what our expectations are, what our history is, what our ancestry is, like how all of those components kind of make up who we are, and what our like how we operate in the world as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as women. So that's something that is also that I'm like really interested in, like forging forward with, that still feels a little, it feels like I've done that. I do that with myself and my own friends, but how to like also really create that as part of my business is something that I'm exploring. I was going to say, oh, and yes, most recently, I'm also joining the Tompkins County Library Board, which is really fun. I am feeling ready now to give back to the community in that way. So that's an exciting new thing that I'm going to be doing. I have more creative energy now that I've kept my kids alive for this long, and I'm not having any more, you know, so I have this kind of creative energy that I'm excited to put back into my business and back into the community at large too. So that's it, I think. Tracy, you're muted.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
There you go. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Melissa, for that. And we all understand, I started my business when my boys were 3 years old and 3 months old, and now they're 29 and 26. So you probably, many of us here have gone through what you are, and you know what? It all works out. It all works out. So,
yeah.
So no worries, but you can always reach out to any of us. I think the majority of us are mothers or grandmothers probably at this point. So
yeah.
So anyways, good luck.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Kathy, my dear, would you like to speak next? Want me to unmute you?
Oh,
there you
I'm
go.
hitting the wrong button.
That's okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Catherine Dare. I go by Kathy in this group, and I own an engineering firm. The aspects of COVID have had various impacts on the business that I have. I employ 5 individuals. A percentage of our projects that we work on are essential, so that's supportive, but not. It has had an impact. I think people that have employees and staff and you need to function in the real world, I think there are impacts to every person that's in business. And I think I really do think there's a lot of people in Washington that don't really grasp that. Um, I, I have just come off 12 weeks on a construction project, which I was covering because one of my engineers has had a lot of health challenges, and some of them are older and they don't want to be out doing some of this work right now because of all the conditions. So um, this is one of the first networking events I've been to in over 4 months because of that. And but I guess what was so I feel like everything's being kind of like compressed and pressed down so that waiting for that return on that compressed feature going forward. But I think we've newly developed a specialty for DOT certification inspection, horizontal directional drilling, utility installations, and I am also an EPA contractor, and we keep continually winning projects nationwide to address hardcore environmental issues under legal requirements with the federal EPA. So there are so many things that happen in Washington that on different levels either affect the private side of my business, the funding side of my business, the environmental side of the business. Every time they shut down the government, it will affect my EPA side of the business. You can't work if you don't have somebody that can direct you. So literally every time the government shuts down, that means nothing happens on any of my projects. So and until it's been a long time, almost since the Bill Clinton era, when people really realized that when they shut down the government for almost 6 weeks, that the people that got hurt the most were the contractors because they don't get paid. And 90% of the work is done by contractors at the government level. Most of the government employees don't do the work, they manage the work. So all those things actually really keep the economy going. And I really just think so many of the people in Washington have lost sight of what it takes to get from point A to point B. So I don't know how we fix that, because I think they're all focused on the wrong things. But so that's what I do. I also have been working with some developers to help them develop and identify properties. I helped one of the women in the Rochester area develop a glamping site. We didn't carry it completely over the threshold, but we got her started, and I connected her with an engineering firm that I believe they finally finished build out this fall. So if anybody wants to go glamping, I have a great resource. Her facility is right next to the Watkins Glen. Literally, she's at gate 2. So
sounds like a women's size thing to do as soon as July.
She is. Her whole goal was to have like a 5-star experience, like you were going to a spa, and that it would be like super crazy luxurious to be camping and you just walk into this great environment. So I haven't seen the final build outs, but I've been through 2 development classes. One was an entrepreneur network that was all women. There have only been 2 classes, and we were supposed to get together and reconnect both classes, and they had to cancel it because of the health restrictions. And then I've also been through the SBA program to develop your business, and I'm not really sure what the status. A lot of people we graduated in 2019, so a lot of people were geared towards growth in 2020, and I'm just fearful if people really stepped out on that platform, and I don't really know where the status is for a lot of there was over 30 of us in that class, where everybody is, but it'll be interesting to see what happens in 2021. But that's what I do. I still have a team of people. We're still functioning and trying to navigate where we are today.
Yeah, keep going. Keep us updated as well. And you're doing great. All of us, it's just sometimes I think a little bump in the road right now, and it will smooth out and life will return. So keep going, Kathy. Proud of you.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Jill Bates next. And
hi, everybody. My name is Jill Bates, and I'm in Rochester, New York. I'm a real estate agent with Howard Hanna. And of course, I'm looking for sellers, looking for buyers, mostly sellers. The market is very, very busy, which I'm grateful for. The rates are very, very low, which anybody that's buying now is in the driver's seat, which is awesome. And I was in a networking session last night and two comments were made, which I thought were interesting. The one comment was, wow, she goes, she goes, I really respect real estate agents because there's so many of you out there. And yes, there is. And you may have a friend or a relative or, someone in your networking group that you deal with for your real estate needs. But that's why things like this are important, because it allows me to meet all of you. And then even if you just have a real estate question, please contact me, because your question helps me learn more. So don't feel that you'd be obligated to use me as your agent. I understand that, people have their spheres. And then the other comment was, oh shoot, I forgot what this person said. He just asked about the market and how do you find your clientele, how do I find my clients? And again, we just talked about networking and getting to know people that you are in a relationship with. So I want to tippy toe away from real estate for a moment, because I need to comment on what Sadie Ann said. And yes, age is an attitude. Melissa, during this whole COVID thing, the one thing that I just really, my heart goes out to young moms with young children, and they're working full time. I see them do it, and I'm just impressed and amazed, and because my kids are grown and gone. So just, kudos to that group. And then Kathy, I want to know, are you in Syracuse?
No, I'm in the Utica Rome area, but I mean Syracuse is an hour away. So, but yeah, and you're out by Rochester. I've been out, and I have a lot of contacts. I was part of the 10 group, the entrepreneur network. So there's, I can't remember if there's a real estate person. I can't believe in the several classes there wouldn't be, but no, I have a strong connections in the Rochester area because of that. So.
Well, endorsements to glamping. We did that last summer. Very, very fun. I would highly recommend it, and I am totally going to check out the glamping near Watkins Glen, because that's not too far away. So thank you for that.
I'll see if I can post in the thing what her website is, because I can't. She's changed it a couple times. I can't, because she had conflicts of interest for the naming, so I got to remember what it is. So
okay, yeah. So that is really a fun thing to do. And yes, Tracy, maybe we can get together as a Women Ties group to do something like that. So that's pretty much all I needed to say. Thank you for attending today. This is really fun to meet new people and see people that I've already met. And thank you, Tracy. Tracy has referred a couple of real estate people in need of real estate information to me. Thank you so much for that, Tracy.
You're welcome.
A lot of people are on hold. I think, the sellers out there, they're a little bit nervous about having people come into their home, which I don't blame them. So they're holding off, but the overall picture, it's all good.
Well, thank you, Jill. Keep going. All right, we'll mute you and we'll go on to Christy Mitchell, who is our last presenter, our last speaker at this moment, but I also want her at the end to just talk a little bit. She's going to be presenting the next program, which is January 12th, which is next Tuesday, I think it is, on the importance of doing a marketing audit, which I think is essential and really excited about. So I wanted her just to talk about that after she introduces herself. So Christy, it's all yours.
Awesome, thank you. So I'm Christy Mitchell. I'm in Rochester, New York, specifically Fairport, for those of you who know the area. I also have been working from home, so this isn't any different for me. I run my own business, so I've spent the past 10 years in different marketing roles, but I've been running my business for 2 years now. And this past year, I've been feeling very much like I want to kind of find my calling. I can do marketing, I can do almost any facet of digital marketing, but it doesn't necessarily excite me. So I've done a lot of soul searching, and silver lining to losing clients because of COVID is it gives you time to figure some things out and really go forward with intention. So that's what I'm doing. I am kind of refocusing my business, working specifically with women entrepreneurs to help them save time and energy by working more efficiently in their business through implementing systems and processes. So some of that can be marketing related. Some of it may not be. I just had a wonderful call this week with a woman who has all these plans for this year for her business, all of these plans, all of these goals, all of these things. And she's like, I have it and I don't know where to start. So we're going to work together to prioritize, to schedule, to come up with a game plan. So that's part of what you get with me is that, you know, kind of taking what may feel complex and ambiguous and messy and getting a plan, and also the accountability piece, following up, you know, to answer questions and, you know, make sure you're on track and help where I can. So I'm really excited about it. I am very passionate about helping other women entrepreneurs because I feel so strongly about what it's allowed me to do in my life. I have a 6-year-old who was supposed to start kindergarten this year, and we decided to homeschool. And I'm so fortunate to be able, you know, to be able to structure my time around that. I do apologize. I was turning my camera off because he was, I tried to get him set up with lunch till my mother-in-law got here, but there were a couple interruptions. So yeah, just trying to juggle it all. But anyway, I really want to help other women because I feel so strongly about, you know, being able to be my own boss and be in charge of my schedule and giving me that flexibility to feel like I have sort of work-life balance, whatever that is. So if I can help other women do that and help them achieve more success, and, you know, I always go back to like the concept of working smarter, not harder. So helping them, you know, find organization. That's one thing I've realized is a strength that I bring, that I've always just been focused on my marketing skill set, but focusing on like processes and systems, that's something that comes naturally to me. And I very much like coming up with those plans. So I'm excited to be going down this new path. And I'm excited for the opportunity to speak next week on Tuesday. So Tracy and I were talking, and I'm a big, I like to say I'm data oriented. I'm like nerdy about data, but I'm also very creative. I have both of those sides of the brain working, which I'm thankful for. But I really enjoy using data to make informed decisions, because otherwise it can feel very messy and overwhelming if you have all of these things you want to do, or, you know, you want to grow your business, you're not sure how to get there. So I've gone through the process with some clients to, you know, let's evaluate everything. Let's sit down and look at social media and website and all of those things and pull out the pieces of data that are going to help you work smarter in the year ahead. So I'm excited for that opportunity next week. Thank you, Tracy, for giving that to me. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I recently just joined the marketing advisory committee for the Rochester Hearing and Speech Center in Rochester. They're kind of a not very well-known gem in the Rochester area. So if you know of any, they're actually a non-for-profit. They're the only non-for-profit in Rochester that provides hearing and speech services to both, to actually the whole gamut, little kid, preschool, you know, young kid evaluations, all the way up through the elderly population. So I'm excited to be giving back to the community in that way, and just kind of using my talents to help out another organization.
Sounds wonderful.
That was a lot.
No, that was good. That was good. I threw in do some event promotion at the same time because I knew you'd be able to cover it a little bit more than I would. So thank you for that, Christy. And what I love is that these member-only meetings give you a chance to really promote yourselves and get to know each other better. And as Deb can see, you know, I said, oh, join the call. We've got great Rochester women and Ithaca. You know, my vision when I created Women Ties, which, you know, was 16 years ago, was I wanted women to decide they were going to do business with women first and foremost. And I wanted them to say, I don't care if I'm going to do business with a woman in Rochester or Ithaca or the Thruway or the 81, whatever way you want to look at it, was a vehicle to be able to say, hey, it's not that far away to be able to get to this group, you know, get to do business with women in different areas. And by choosing to do business with women in other areas instead of men in my own region, helps me to open up my marketplace in another place, because once you start working with a woman from a region outside of where you live, her connections, you know, her network opens you as well. You know, whether, as Deb's saying, globally, whether it's nationally, but you can also do it here within New York State. And so, so to see that we have a mix of so many women here today from different regions, I'm really thrilled. You're literally living my dream. This is what I envision. So thank you for that. I have perfect timing, girls. You did a great job on that. I have about 7 minutes left. I promise we'll get you out of here at 1 o'clock. So my update about benefits. And this is kind of a sobering thought, but we've had this conversation before, is that the news is showing truly how small businesses are really suffering during the pandemic. I hate looking in the Syracuse newspaper and they show all the restaurants that are closing and the bars that are closing. And, you know, it makes me sad as an entrepreneur who's been in business for 26 years with 2 different companies to hear of other businesses closing. And I also hear it live when I call members to see if they want to renew. I understand this year has been very hard on many people. And so, you know, I know it's tough for them to make a decision if they've been financially limited to decide whether or not Women Ties has a value for them. I understand because I lost 50% of my income the past year because of COVID. Without doing live events, I lost my #1 financial sponsor of the past 10 years in November it was just an email. Sorry, Tracy, we're closed. I was like, whoa, okay. This is why you need to build your sales pipeline, because when you have a major vendor that you count on, you know, a notice like that doesn't give you a lot of time for planning. And I understood, obviously, but, you know, it's made me have to rethink a few things. So I think that the T in the name for Tracy isn't about Tracy, but it's about tenacity. And if it's the one thing I can say to you after, you know, being in business for 26 years, is that anytime I've faced adversity, both personally and in business, I'm down for that count for one day. The next day I'm like, you know what? Can't keep me down. There's got to be something I can do about this. Let's move on. Let's get a happy attitude. Let's get going. You might have seen my social media. I've been biking in the rain 9 miles every day. And I'm so happy at the end because I'm like, woo, there's nobody else out here. I'm feeling good. Who the heck cares if it rains? I mean, really, my hair doesn't get wet. So that's a #1 thing. And that's what a washer dryer is for. You come home, you throw the muddy clothes in the washer, you still feel good, and you go on with life. So with that being said, decided that the verbiage for Women Ties, which, you know, and I think the mission that so many people understand Women Ties is that I want women to do business with other women, to make more money in order to increase their bottom line financially. Well, as members aren't renewing as much because of the situation I just explained, I said, so I've got to change a little of the verbiage about Women Ties. What I've always done, and what I've always done extremely well, is promoting, publicizing. And so I'm going to take on a little bit more of a PR agent role for my members, for the ones that need it or want it, to make sure that they're getting information about them and their companies out, either through my marketing platform, helping them to figure out how to send press releases into the media, whatever it happens. I still have very strong media connections because I wrote for the Post-Standard for 11 years. I have people that still ask me. So I feel like for the money that you invest in Women Ties, if there's not as many women that are buying from you, because during this time period, the number of members may be getting smaller, I want you to know that I'm committed to helping you use more of our PR tools. And, you know, I'm not a coach. I don't like to say I'm a consultant. I'm just a woman who's been doing this pretty well in terms of PR and marketing for really 30 years when you count my other parts of my education. So what I'm going to be doing is sending out before March 3rd, which is the Women Ties anniversary date, an updated PR membership benefit packet to all of you. Some examples of what I'm doing is, if you've got events now that you're promoting, we're not just going to keep it on the regional marketplace page. We're going to put it right on the homepage. We're going to give you, you know, as much visibility as I can give you right now. Events have to be female focused or business focused. No men, sorry. If you got a male speaker, it's not going on my website. I'm never changing that brand about me. Doing more podcast interviews with members, more Women of the Week interviews. So I'm going to be more proactive with you about making sure you're using RPR benefits. That's my commitment. If you have less members, it gives me more time. So I'm very blessed to have a house that's paid off, a husband with a 35-year career, kids have gone through college, you know. I have enough members to make my salary, you know, but my service to my members is what drives me, and your success is what drives me, and that's the truth. It really is. So just look for me to be a little bit more active with you one-on-one, and see how I can help you better in 2021. So those will be getting to you by March 3rd. And I think the other thing I'm going to do is do a video and put it on YouTube so that you know each of the benefits. So there's a way you can refer back to what you can use and how you can use it. So I will have that on our YouTube channel soon. Probably not going to do live events until June, at least. You know, I've got a son who's in the health profession who is still wears a mask in the house when he comes to visit. So for now, Zoom is going to be the place we're going to be. I hope that you'll join us there, and then we'll make some decisions as the summer rolls out and everybody gets their vaccines. I have recorded this, so look, we've got 1 minute to go. I'm going to send you this recording plus the notes from the chat box by tomorrow. You've got the sales contact list, so you'll be able to reach out to any of the women on this call. If you want me, something I want to think about doing this summer, so keep this in mind. I have a huge deck pool. Jill was here with a couple other women. If there's sort of like a group of 3 of you that makes sense to put you together at a outside pool chat at my house this summer because you want to meet each other more, or I'm just thinking, how can I create these individual opportunities face-to-face for anybody who wants to do that? So keep that in mind for May through September. And with that being said, I hope that you will sign up for Christy's program, our program on the 12th. The next member only meeting is February 2nd. And Andy Simon, who is one of our member, really PhD, well-accomplished woman from the Hudson Valley, she had her book launch yesterday and was in contact with me. She put it on hold. I said, I wouldn't do it. It was supposed to be at 6 at night. I said, you're not going to get anybody listening. So her event's going to be on 2/3. Her book is called Rethink, and it's all about women entrepreneurs. Excellent book. So I'm going to put that on the homepage so you can see that. And I'll end it just by saying, does anybody have any questions? We're right on time. So I want to, if anybody has a question, I'm happy to take it. If you need to leave, that's fine too. It is 1 o'clock. So can I unmute you all now? Or you can all unmute yourselves, or I don't know, where's the unmute button here? Yes.
I just was gonna say, I have a conflict on the 2nd, so I won't be able to participate that day.
Yeah, and not everybody can meet, you know, and so if you want to pay the exciting $5, which we do because of the way my website's set up, somebody did that today. She wants the recording. She wants to know who's on the call and get the contact list. Sign up, just put in the comment section. I can't be there, but send me the recording, send me the contact list. So totally up to you. Yeah. Anybody else with anything they want to say?
I just had an idea.
Yeah.
For you.
Yes.
And for Women Ties. I contacted a woman in Florida about countertops. And it's a husband woman owned business. I think it's women owned. But anyway, I called her deliberately, not him, because I like to work with women. Yeah. And I thought you would be very proud to know that I spoke with this woman. And I told her, because she was so highly professional, so enthusiastic after 20 years in this business, following 15 years as a social worker, she was just an awesome person to do business with. And it kind of got me thinking, Tracy, is there a way for you to perhaps do some things out of the box, out of the area, strictly virtual? I mean, look at, here we are. Maybe there's a group in Florida or someplace. Right. Might be interested in something.
Yeah,
just a thought.
It's a great suggestion. In April, when we went to Zoom, we had, depending on the speakers, they had connections across We had 2 women from Toronto, a couple from North Carolina. Physically, I made the decision to keep Women Ties within the state so I could get to live events in order to network women. But there isn't any reason that Women Ties or women from anywhere can join us if they're interested in it, because again, everything's done so virtually. So it's just a matter of thinking from a marketing perspective, how do you reach out? How do those people know about us? And so I need to probably think about that more in 2021, because you're right, it doesn't really matter where any woman is. I would love to have anybody connect with us. So you can invite her to learn more about Women Ties, and I'm happy to talk to her if she's interested. But yeah, I mean,
Good.
the bigger
Okay.
the better. But I love all of you, even if we stay in a small New York State group as well. But yeah, I'm here to help any women. It doesn't matter to me where they live. So. Anybody else before we go? All right, my friends, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for making my day and each other's day, and the women that have kids, you can connect, and the other women can connect, and just thank you very much. And I'll get everything sent out to you by tomorrow.
Thank you, Tracy. You're
Thanks,
awesome.
Tracy. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Good meeting everybody.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
There's Jill.